This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right. Well, good evening, Reds fans, and welcome to another edition of the POSTCAST brought to you by Locked On Reds and the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Tim Daniel. I'm in my second season here covering the Cincinnati Reds as a part of Locked On. And I want to thank you for spending some time with me today, as finally this road trip from hell has ended, and the Reds are swept by the Cubs today, 8-3. On today's show, this ends the worst road trip maybe ever. And I'm going to tell you, even the 3-22 start with the 100-loss season, this one hurts more. We have yet another injury to the pitching staff. We're going to talk about that today. And we do see some late offense, which is yay. All that and I guess a whole lot more, but we'll go ahead and we'll get started.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Well, the good news about this road trip is that it's over. The bad news is they went 0-7 against the Central Division. 4 losses to the Cubs, 3 losses to the Pirates. And maybe they just need to get a little home cooking. Maybe they just need to get back to the old GABP. But this road trip hurts. That one sucks. Yeah. It stinks because it's like, obviously, you don't play the division as much as you used to. And you go into May in first place after your really good start to the season in April. And now you went from first to last in the span of 7 games. Yeesh. Pretty brutal. Is the season over? No, far from it. Can they turn this around? Yeah, they can. Will they? I don't know. I mean, look, if you look at these numbers the last few days, offense has been there in this series. Minus 1 game, I think they scored 2 runs. Today they had 9 hits? Yeah, they can't come through the runners in scoring position still. Big problem. Bullpen ERA is still incredibly high. That's disappointing. But I don't know. You're just kind of out of answers. And I think here Trey Pac-Man Lewis says it. Maybe the road trip being over is the most positive thing you can say. And it is. It is. It's the most positive thing you say is they come home tomorrow for a homestand with Houston and Washington, who haven't been very good so far. But maybe, hopefully they don't get going against us, because I don't know. And let's also just kind of make note, obviously the Cubs being as good as they are, but the Reds hit them as they're a buzzsaw. It's their second win streak, extensive win streak of the season, and the Reds caught them right in the middle of it. It's disappointing. You're frustrated, especially because 3 of those games you lost by a run. I think I still prefer losing by a run in walk-off fashion than getting blown out like this, because you at least feel like you have a chance in the 9th. Today was just kind of one of those days where it was really, really bad, and it wasn't getting better. And so there's, the issues that you have. But the one thing I guess that's cool about this team, and I'll give it some reassurance, is, they lost 8-3 today. They gave themselves a chance to put some runs on the board there in the 9th. They made the Cubs use their closer. That's not a moral victory by any means, but it was nice to see that they kind of, gave themselves a little more of a chance. They scored a run in the 9th. But the thing that jumped out to me the most about where these two teams are at, and we'll get to Rhett here in a second, is that it's 1-0. The Cubs go on that huge run in the 4th. They put 7 on the board. And it's 8-0 at the bottom of the 4th going to the top of the 5th. And who leads off the top of the 5th for the Reds? Blake Dunn. They just sent Pete Crow Armstrong to the bat. They just sent, Pete Crow Armstrong, Nico Horner. They sent all these guys, Alex Bregman, to come to get bats. And we're going with Blake Dunn there. And I know Blake Dunn had a homer and 2 hits today. So, but I would call that the outlier of the Blake Dunn career. If Blake Dunn were on the 1990s World Series team, he would be Billy Bates. Let's call it what it is. But he had a day today, so at least we'll give him credit for that, and kudos to him for that as well. But and then obviously the bad news of how it all started was that Rhett Lowder gets hurt, and that really sucks because they just lost Emilio Pagán on Chicago. They just had I don't know. It's always just been from bad to worse. And I know the good news is that Nick Lodolo comes back tomorrow and you can hang your head on that. And hopefully that's what they need, is just a little fresh air from him, because he's probably, other than Hunter Green and Chase Burns, their best pitcher. And so now he kind of gets a chance to get back in the swing of things. Hopefully the blister issue is tamed for the time being. We'll see. But now that you're down Rhett, I assume that means Chase Petty is going to be back for the National Series, because even though he was sent down, you have the rule where on injury you can come back within 10 days. So we'll probably see him get his next start. And I think he earned the right to get another start. I talked about that here on the postcast after his game the other day. I talked about that with Steve when I filled in for Jeff this week on Locked on Reds. So I feel like he's kind of earned the right. I don't know if it's going to be successful per se, but I'm glad he's getting the chance to show he can be something here. I don't know what more you can take from it, but obviously that's really disappointing for Lowder. He did give up that solo shot earlier in the game, and then felt like he was kind of teetering in and out, had some couple walks. Defense gets him behind him in the third inning, draws a double play. And in the fourth inning, you could just tell wasn't there. And then Connor Phillips, man, there's a lot to like about Connor Phillips. He's talented and he throws gas, but like Steve says all the time, you just never know where it's going. It's Ricky Vaughn, as I joked about it, because you just never know. It's going to land in the strike zone. It's going to be in the fifth row behind home plate. If it's going to be wet, low, and outside, or if it's going to be extremely high and inside past the batter's head, you just never know with Connor Phillips. But now you get a chance to kind of get back to your home cooking, sleep in your own bed, and enjoy, maybe just getting to relax, because now you've got a nice home stand where maybe you can get back on things, and you have a day off on Monday. So hopefully that day off can kind of give them a little air as well, but we shall see how things go. And, they did get some late offense in this game when it was too little too late. So we do want to at least touch on that. And, one of those guys in particular finally got a big hit again. So we'll talk about that right after this. This episode is brought to you by Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for: skills, experience, location, so you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that says it all. In a minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about it on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Job. This episode is also brought to you by our friends over at Game Time. There's nothing like being in the MLB ballpark, and MLB season is back. Fresh starts, big expectations, and that first crack of the bat, whether it's a breakout rookie or division race that goes down to the wire, there's nothing like being in the ballpark for it. The only problem, getting tickets can feel like a grind. Long queues, surprise fees, prices jumping at checkout. That's why there's Game Time. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage with constant innovation. It's how you unlock amazing tickets and experience in just a few taps. It's simple to use. The Game Time guarantee means you get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time at the best price. And here's the best part. Fees are included in the price you see, so what you see is what you pay, period. The seat views feature is huge. I can see the panoramic view from my exact seat before you buy. I actually going to the game on Tuesday against Washington, my first game of the season, and I used Game Time, and I used the zone deal because you pick the section and they will save, and Game Time will pick the seats to help you save some extra money. You can follow your favorite team and get alerts when new deals drop. 2 taps and it's done. No stress, no hidden fees, just great seats and minutes. That's what makes it so easy to decide last minute to hit a game. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. You already live this team, so why don't you make it part of your everyday life with the Locked On Everydayer Club? Say you're a Reds fan, a Bengals fan, we got a channel for them as well on our Discord chat. Say you want to be like, well, follow me around and check out the Locked On Reds and the Locked On Cavs shows. You've got the Everydayer Club for that. Ad-free episodes for all of your favorite Locked On shows. Our Discord chat where you can get in rooms for each and every team that you love and adore. And we're all in there having a lot of fun talking sports with all of you. Let's do I guess, you got to pick a Locked On.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
cut myself off there. I'm going to go with Sal Stewart for player of the game because he hit a homer that they really needed because it was the first run on the board, and he scored that second run in the ninth. So I guess if someone's going to stand out above them all, it's going to be the guy who scores 2 of the 3 runs today. And that's what I want to kind of get to end the show is we did see some late offense there when it was too little too late, but the Reds certainly kind of made it. I don't know if you can say interesting because they were down 5 runs, but they put themselves in a position to battle back. Didn't go their way, so be it. At this point in the game, when you're sitting there looking at a 5-run deficit in the 9th inning with a couple outs, yeah, it's disappointing. And you're starting to see just kind of this team needs to figure out a way to get things going again, and maybe just being a GABP is going to help that. Maybe just being away from Wrigley Field, where not only did you lose 4 games, you lost 2 big parts of your pitching staff. Maybe that's just what they need as well. Just get back home, sleep in your own bed, hang out with your family, eat your own food, get in your regular routine. Maybe that's what they need. I hope so. And maybe they just need to get some guys back, like Nick Lodolo tomorrow. I'm very excited to see Nick Lodolo back tomorrow. I feel like that is the biggest positive of this day is that the series is over and we get one of our guys back tomorrow. But the Reds do lose today, unfortunately, the Cubs 8-3. The Cubs are now 26-12. The Reds 20-18. The box score shows the Cubs have 8 runs on 7 hits and an error. The Reds have 3 runs on 9 hits and an error. Shota Imanaga gets the win. He's now 4-2. He is awesome. I hate to say it because he pitched for the Cubs. He's awesome. Rhett Lowder gets his 3rd loss of the year. He's 3-3 with a 5.40, and Daniel Palencia picks up his 2nd save of the year. And we're back home tomorrow at 6:10 as the Reds take on the 15-23 Houston Astros. Nick Lodolo takes the hill for his season debut. He'll be going against Mike Burrows of the Astros, who's 1-4 with a 5.97. If that name sounds familiar to you, he just recently, the last 2 years, pitched for the Pittsburgh Pirates. First pitch is at 6:10, so you'll see me probably a little earlier than normal tomorrow. And it looks like, if all things considered, it will be a regular Reds TV game, not Apple TV. So everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm Tim Daniel. Have a great night. Go Redlegs. And be sure to stay tuned in because Jeff's back. So you'll see Jeff. I think they're going to go Friday morning live at 11 a.m. for their show for the weekend. So let's go Reds. Let's beat the Astros. And let's get some positivity back into the chat. See you all.